Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Joy News at 12. And thanks for staying with us. The bulletin is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. It's also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Birdin FM in Bukurubu, Sun City Radio, Keta, Volta Premier FM is in Ho, ATL FM is in Cape Coast, Radio Max, Takrady, and Reach 104.9 FM in Tamale. We're live on Twitter Spaces, Facebook live stream, and the My Joy online interactive app. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol. Your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Duraplast Limited, also producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. Coming up this afternoon, President Akufo-Addo calls on Ghanaians to eschew divisiveness as the country celebrates 66 years of independence.
We must have the patience to accept that just as our fight for freedom and independence was not achieved in a day, so too, national prosperity will not come overnight.
We'll take you to the regions as former President John Mahama explains why he's not participating in the Independence Day celebration.
I stopped going to the Independence Day because it's become a party jamboree. I went to Tamale. They told GBC to take the camera off me.
There's more for you as the country observes 66 years of independence. A board member of the National Peace Council calls for constitutional changes to limit the powers of the president and chart a new development plan.
And then seeks talent for the execution of this agenda without reference to anyone's political or ethnic or other affiliation.
We'll also hear from a historian who says some aspects of the 1992 Constitution are not fit for purpose. Also, a little later, 16 districts in the northern region record cases of measles as the numbers hit over 100. Details as shortage of 3 vital vaccines for babies since the beginning of the year begin to bite hard.
It's been more than 1 year since we started experiencing these shortages. So it means that for most of the children who were born since 2022, they are likely to have missed so many of these vaccines that are very crucial to their survival.
Well, there's more unfolding as associations in the medical field rise against the shortage of the vaccines for children, insisting gains made has been rolled back several years, which they insist is unfortunate.
Whatever it will take for them to get us the vaccines like today, because every day we risk having children die from these shortages. I mean, this is like going back. And it's an embarrassment.
We'll also tell you more as 22 died in a gory accident on the Tamale-Kumasi Road as the Bono East Regional Minister advocates for rest stops on the stretch.
The accident could have been caused by fatigue. If there was a mandatory stop for drivers and passengers to rest, this wouldn't have happened.
If a mandatory rest stop, trucks and buses like this.
Also here in Accra, one person is dead, another in critical condition in an accident at the Tetekwashi interchange. This morning, we'll get you the latest. Plus, as we celebrate our independence, we'll tell you the story of Kente, the Ghanaian traditional fabric.
This is the Jinyame symbol. When we talk of the Jinyame, it means God has the power to do everything. This is also Sankofa and Kotoko, the symbolic animal of the Ashantis.
My name is Blessed Sogah. Thanks for joining us here on the Independence Day edition of the Midday News. Now, President Akufo-Addo is calling on Ghanaians to eschew divisiveness and unproductive tendencies as the country celebrates 66 years of independence from colonial rule. He was addressing school children ahead of the national celebration currently underway in the Volta Regional Capital Hall.
Let us eschew all acts of divisiveness and self-centeredness, tendencies which will only retard our forward march. We must have the pride to acknowledge that we have made positive strides, yet we must also have the humility to appreciate that we still have a long way to go. We must have the patience to accept that just as our fight for freedom and independence was not achieved in a day, so too, national prosperity will not come overnight. We will have to work hard for it. In peace and in unity, I'm certain that we can build a new Ghanaian civilization which will attract the admiration of Africa and the world.
Well, President Akufo-Addo speaking ahead of the Independence Day celebration. We can now go live to other regions where similar events are taking place. Let's start off from the Volta region, which is hosting the national celebration. Ivy Setoji is joining us on the telephone lines now. Ivy, describe the atmosphere for us, knowing that the region is in focus as the country marks 66 years of independence.
Well, here in Adaklu, in the Volta region, the crowd here is huge. We have a lot of residents coming from most of the districts from the Volta region to come and celebrate the Independence Day. Earlier on, we saw a lot of residents walking all the way from Go to Adaklu just to witness the event. We also saw lots of children, ex-servicemen, and youth walking just because they couldn't get car, and there was huge traffic here. And so right now, as we speak, there's still a lot of people here, even though it's almost time to end the program. Yes, the people are talking about the economic crisis. When we spoke to them earlier, they want the president to address issues of economic crisis and also get them jobs, especially the youth. They want the president, the government, actually to make sure that there are factories established in the Volta region so that the youth can get employment. So that is what some of the residents of the region have been saying.
We remember our olden days that we can stay on bread for 4 hours those days when we are taking part in any university or dream competition. So the zeal is there, but only some of our people are not that fit. Some of us who are alive, we are fit. We promise that we will do our best to remember our mother Ghana. All citizens in Ghana to do hard work so that Ghana will become what it is coming from a different town. Things went hard, and you know it. When I was building my building during the time of President Mahama, it was 26 now it is 87. So when are you hearing to?
Well, some residents of the Volta region, they're making an appeal to the president on their economic concerns. But Ivy, another unfortunate incident in the Volta region, something that was not expected. And we understand that the live telecast of the event had to be cut short due to a fire outbreak that we're learning of at a critical installation. Tell us more about that.
According to our sources there at GBC, they are saying that it's a small challenge according to them, and the technical team is trying their best to work on it. So they are showing the public they should just relax as the team work on it, and so that we can have the live feed again. So our sources, that's what they are saying, that it's just a little challenge for the meantime, and that it will be resolved.
Okay, but as to what's happening now, are you able to give us a sense of whether or not the president has spoken, if there's been any message at all from the invited guests as well?
Well, for now, the president is yet to speak. The president is also yet to speak. Other guests are also yet to speak because there are other performances, traditional performances, still ongoing. School children have also performed earlier, and so for now, we are waiting for the president and then the special guest of honor and other guests to speak.
And we'll bring you updates. Ivy Setoji joining us from the Volta region. Let's cross over to the northeast region where some protesters marked the beauty of the Independence Day celebration there. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko witnessed that event. Joins us on the telephone lines now. Why a protest on the Independence Day, Ilyasu?
Well, Blessed, you know that for the past 2 weeks now, Paulstem and Progo traditional area, they have been protest against the situation in Boko. The people came there to protest against the government because, according to them, the government was meddling in the Boko dispute. And so they are asking the government to stay neutral And they are also asking the government to ensure that the new chief that has been enchained by the Mamprogo overlord is responded to.
But how about the event itself? Given what's happened today, are authorities still going ahead with the celebration?
Well, the event has just come to an end. It took a little time there. Despite their presence, school children were still there marching, as well as some civil servants, especially the police service. So despite their presence at the event grounds in Wale Valley and Tambak, it did not really affect the march.
Today's celebration.
We are live from Edum Kumase. It's 66 years of independence, total liberation from colonial rule. Today in our conversation, we are asking people generally, what do you think about Ghana as we attain 66 years of age? So I would be engaging with some few people here and I'll find out from them what they make of Ghana, 66 years old Ghana. What do you think about Ghana? What is that thing that we still have to do? What are we not doing right? And what do you think we can do?
Ghana for the past 66 years. We have done a lot, and more needs to be done by the current government and the past government. We know they have done a lot, and more needs to be done. Unemployment and loss of revenue to enable the country to forge ahead of development. Because of corruption, our revenue target or our revenue system in the country is not the best. Those investment which the past government has invested is not yielding any positive results to us. One is the Tema refinery. If you have a refinery and you are finding oil, why do you have to go somewhere and refine your oil to come and sell in the country?
Some residents of the Ashanti regional capital being engaged by the Love News team. But still speaking about Ghana at 66, former President John Mahama has boycotted the national event in the Volta region because the ceremony has been politicized in his view.
And just when I was leaving, we were preparing to celebrate the Independence Day. I stopped going to the Independence Day because it's become a party jamboree. I went to Tamale. They told GBC to take the camera off me. They buzzed their supporters in and filled the whole stadium. When I got into the stadium, the place was quiet. I went and sat. They gave me some corner somewhere and went and sat there. And they occupied the days. And any of them who came in, hey, hey. And I said, I don't want to be part of this party jamboree. Independence is a solemn national celebration. We used to celebrate it at the Independence Square. And everybody wanted to come. Today they buzzed their supporters in. They have party flags. They are wearing party t-shirts. I don't want to be part of a party jamboree. Nkrumah got us independence. I'm an Nkrumahist. I will attend an Independence Day any day if it's not hijacked by one party. Because it should be a national day for all of us.
Former President John Dramani Mahama. Let's focus on health because it is emerging this afternoon. There are 16 regions in the northern parts of the country have recorded cases of measles. A shortage of 3 key vaccines in parts of the country begin to bite hard. There's pressure on the government from experts and health practitioners on the need to secure the 3 essential vaccines for babies. The Ghana Health Service already indicated its experts it actually expects some supplies in a matter of weeks, but there are fears that there could be a dire consequence for the newborn babies. Already 16 districts in the northern region have recorded cases of measles with numbers hitting over 100 as we speak. Here's the head of the pediatrics and child health at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Professor Al-Hassan Abdul Momi.
It's been more than 1 year since we started experiencing these shortages. So it means that for most of the children who were born since 2022, they are likely to have missed so many of these vaccines that are very crucial to their survival. And the situation is quite bad because, for instance, in the northern region, there is no district that has not recorded an outbreak of measles. So if it's just the fever and the rash, generally we are able to manage them as home cases. So you can send them home and then they will be managed at home. But if they develop complications like the breathing problems, then they need to be in the hospital. And this is the key complication that can lead to deaths in children that have measles. And that is why this is a very big problem for, all of us as a country.
And that's the head of pediatrics and child health at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Professor Al-Hassan Abdul Mumin. Now, key associations in the medical profession are this afternoon blaming the Ministry of Health for total neglect following the shortage. The Ghana Pediatric Society of this country, the Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and the Islamic Medical Association of Ghana are asking the ministry to attach importance to this issue of the shortage. They are cautioning that the situation could get out of hand. Here's the head of that association, Dr. Hilda Mantebia-Boy, speaking on the probe last night.
If you don't have at all, what it means is that you are not protected. And if you are not protected, it means that you can easily catch any of these infections. And you see, we are really also very concerned because an illness like measles, my whole time in medical school, I didn't see a child with measles. And for many people who finished medical school, let's say 20, 25 years ago, measles wasn't there. But now we are seeing measles come back, which sort of says that we have gone back on all the successes that we sort of chalked, because these are not illnesses that we would want to see, and that is why it is worrying. And being an infectious disease means that it can infect other people. And if you have people who, let's say their immune system is reduced, people with cancer, the extremes of age, so the young, the very old, pregnant women, people on treatment that will suppress their immune system, all these people are vulnerable.
And that's the president-elect of the Ghana Pediatric Society, Dr. Hilda Mantebia-Boy. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association also questioning why the ministry allowed the situation to get to this point. Dr. Tinkran Chum is the General Secretary of the group.
The Ministry of Health is responsible of procuring vaccines for the implementing agencies. So, for instance, Ghana Health Service responsibility is to distribute the vaccines. So, we need to place the blame at the right place. We think that the ministry must do what is necessary to procure the vaccines. It's quite an unfortunate situation. We shouldn't have been here, and we need to take steps to rectify this anomaly. It's not something that should be mentioned at this time. We managed to virtually eradicate some of these childhood illnesses like measles and the rest of it, but it's now rearing its ugly head. So I think that the ministry should do everything possible to get us the vaccine so that the nurses can administer them.
And that's Dr. David Tinkran Chum, his General Secretary for the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Well, this afternoon, one person has died on the spot, with 7 others sustaining various degrees of injuries at the when an accident occurred at the Tezekwashi interchange here in Accra. The accident involved 3 vehicles, a BMW salon car with registration number GR1208-2023, a tipper truck with registration number GW5856-2022 as well, and a Trotro Sprinter. Let's get more from James Kwesi Avaji, who's my colleague. He's, of course, been to the scene of that unfortunate incident and joins us in studio. James, what did you see?
Okay, Blessed. So a total of 11 persons have been involved, 5 persons in the Sprinter Trotro van, 4 in the tipper truck and 2 in the BMW saloon car. Now, the driver of the BMW, a young man believed to be in his late 20s, we are told have been reported dead, and the female occupant of the same vehicle is also in a critical condition. Now, the other occupants of the other vehicles have also been rushed to the 37 military hospital. But I spoke to the driver of the Sprinter van, who narrated to us exactly how the incident occurred.
We're heading from the motorway to Jolo Junction. So when we're coming, there is this car, private car, jumping from his lane to our lane. So what happened was I was in the inner lane and then the tipper bus was at the outer lane. So the tipper was ahead of me. So when it happened that way, it hits the tipper. So I quickly turned my steering to the other side. So I overtook the tipper a little. So after I saw that the tipper was pushing me to where you've seen the car.
So the BMW was actually heading from Jolu Junction
to the motorway.
Do you know what really happened, that he had to cross the road, jump over the middle of the road too?
Oh, no, I don't know actually, but what I heard was that he blasted a tire. So the speed that he was coming with led him to jump to our lane. That is what happened.
So did he hit you or the tipper driver?
He hit the tipper driver. So because of the dust that was, I couldn't see anything anymore. So I was just controlling. And then what I saw was that the tipper was also coming towards my direction. And then he hit me and then we all went to the gutter.
And that's what transpired here in the national capital. Thanks, Kwesi Avechi, for giving us updates. But that's not only where the incidents occurred, because there's one happening in other parts of the country, a reason for which the Bono East Regional Minister is advocating for rest stops on the Yendi-Kumasi Highway to enable drivers to rest when they are tired. His call is actually coming as an accident on the stretch reportedly killed 22 persons and injured many others. Reports indicate that the Yendi-Kumasi bound bus with 52 passengers on board crashed by the side with a trailer truck which was carrying some tiles. Even though it is unclear what really happened, witnesses say the truck driver tried to swerve a stationary truck and in the process entered into the other lane, which resulted in the near collision with the bus. The minister, Kwesi Edujat, believes that the drivers may have been tired, a reason for which the accident occurred.
Accident no etesi already any road safety commission.
This is something sad to have happened here on Independence Day. This is not the first time an accident like this is happening here. It happens often. We have been working with the Road Safety Authority to provide rest stops for drivers and passengers. If we had been able to create the rest stop, these people wouldn't have lost their lives. The accident could have been caused by fatigue. If there was a mandatory stop for drivers and passengers to rest, this wouldn't have happened. So we are earnestly working towards providing the rest stops. We are pleading with the Road Safety Authority to work with us in providing these rest stops. We thank God for those who survived. We are also doing an investigation on the cause of the accident. We will go to the hospital to visit those who are injured.
And we understand that the bodies of the individuals have been deposited at the Kintampo Government Hospital. But you heard there Kwesi Edujat, who is the minister for the area. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM and affiliates across the country. Some of the stories we've brought to you so far: 16 districts in the northern region record cases of measles as the number hits over 100. Details, of course, have been given to you, indicating 3 vital vaccines for babies is beginning to bite hard in all public hospitals. But still to come, we'll tell you the story of Kente, the Ghanaian traditional fabric.
This is the Jinyame symbol. When we talk of the Jinyame, it means God has the power to do everything. This is also Sankofa and Kotoko, the symbolic animal of the Ashantis.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. You know buff, you know chop. where it vanished for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Hajia, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor gets water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank gets meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe. So say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
And thanks for staying with us here at the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM affiliates across the country. Let's stay on road safety because pedestrians and motorists who apply the Accra-Tema motorway are calling for the construction of pedestrian walkways, including zebra crossings on the highway. For motorists, they observe that the accidents involving pedestrians is at an all-time high due to the growing number of communities along the motorway. My colleague Michael Ashale has more in the following report.
The woes of pedestrians and commuters on the express highway is far from over. Crossing the motorway is no mean task. Rashida, not her real name, and her daughter have to gather some bravery at least 2 times a day.
The motorway there is very difficult. They should do something about it. I'm afraid.
Look at your left, right, then left again, and then dash across the street. Many are gripped with fear. Rashida's daughter is no exception.
Instead of crossing the way, I found the motorway. Now the car will hit out. I need help.
In 2022 alone, more than 30,000 people were killed whilst crossing or whilst using most of the streets in Ghana. And the motorway has contributed its fair share to these statistics. Like Rashida and her daughter, thousands cross the motorway at many points. A majority of them come from new settlements that have sprung up along the motorway. This has increased the number of pedestrian crossings. Shiashi is one of such areas. Pedestrians cross the highway to the adjoining communities. The sheer speed of the oncoming vehicles is scary enough. Moses Amuzu says it takes experience and prayer.
If I can cross the road before the car reach my end or get closer to me, this is how I watch. But maybe somebody may never be like, may never have my whole experience. You can feel, for the person's mind, it's like, no, I can be faster than the car, but the car is an engine, faster than you. Can you knock you down, then that is all. That is the end of your life.
Between drivers and pedestrians, the motorway has outlived its usefulness.
Now buildings are scattered around the motorway and it is not helping. I think that it has outlived its use.
Both pedestrians and commuters agree that maybe it is time to put zebra crossings and traffic lights on the express highway.
You must have a zebra crossing or footbridge or overcrossing here.
And the zebra crossing as well. Maybe they can deploy some MTTD officers here.
The deteriorating motorway has claimed many lives in the past, but it may claim some more if all these challenges are not quickly resolved. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
And be sure that you are cautious while using the Accra-Tema motorway. But now let's talk about our heritage. Kente, as we know it, is a colorful Ghanaian traditional fabric that is worn mostly on important occasions, including festivals and marriage ceremonies. The origin of the Kente cloth is grounded in both legend and history. In our Ghana Man series, Love FM's Nana Boachid Dankwa Yandom puts a spotlight on the fabric and the meaning of its symbols.
The history of the Kente cloth can be traced back to the middle part of the 17th century. Bonre is known as the leading center of Kente weaving in the Ashanti region. The cloth has over 300 patterns, each with its own name and meaning, derived from proverbs, historical events, important chiefs, and valuable plants. George Amwa has been weaving kente for 20 years now. He takes me through the historical background, the symbols and significant names. This is the Jinyame symbol. When we talk of the Jinyame, it means God has the power to do everything. This is also Sankofa and Kotoko, the symbolic animal of the Ashantis. The kente itself is the cloth without the symbols. So after weaving, we put the various Adinkra symbols on it to make it nice.
Nanaya Wachi Adams report there on the colourful kente cloth. But that's all we have for you on this special package, Independence Day edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM and our affiliates across the country. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and also brought to you by Duraplast Ghana Limited. For more news, log on to My Joy Online.
Always find a way to sort you out.
Sort me out, Zese.
Oh, so you don't know that when you transfer money between your personal accounts, cash in and cash out at agent points, buy airtime or data, pay bills, receive remittance from abroad, or even pay taxes, there are no e-levy charges?
Hey, we are sure.
Listen, there are a number of transactions you can perform with your MTN Momo that are not affected by the e-levy tax. And there's even more. Remember, your first 100 Ghana cedi transfer for the day is free too.
Hey,
now dear, you know.
There are a number of transactions you can perform with your MTN Momo that are not affected by the e-levy tax. So keep enjoying the security and convenience with MTN Momo and make payments on the go with MTN Momo.
MTN. In celebration of International Women's Day, media personality Nana Banamwa presents the maiden edition of Women of Valor, a movement of courageous women sharing untold, uplifting stories. Representing Nigeria is award-winning actress Omotola Jalade Ekainde, award-winning Supersport presenter Julia Stewart from South Africa, women and children's rights activist Eugenia Balfour Banco from Ghana, as they share their untold stories of courage to inspire us to greatness. Date Tuesday, 7th March 2023. Time 9 a.m. Venue Labadi Beach Hotel. The 2023 Women of Valor is in partnership with ALX, Joy 99.7 FM, GH1 TV, Star 103.5 FM, UTV, Peace 104.3 FM, Ghana Web, Kobe Chain News, Afrimax Network, Premier 369 Limited, Colormax, Wella Dazzles, Office & Co, Oh My Hair, Care Beauty Salon and Spa, Aligina Beauty Parlor, and Stannis Luxury Beauty Studio.
Ago, mi hearing ya wawa tu, kemba gana nyon, ye joy. Akwabo.
Miawezo.
Mama wana akwabo.
Barka da zuwan watan kasan Ghana, anan gidan Radio Joy.
Obenim busumi, eye Ghana busumi.
Miawezo over Ghana Month Jilla Joy 99.7 FM.
Akwaba, eba Ghana Month on Joy.
Mimabe Akwaba, what Ghana siani lile yazo, what joy. We invite all of you to join us this March as we celebrate Ghana here on Joy 99.7 FM.
During this Ghana Month, you will be treated to our history, tourism, arts and culture,
our music, our food, language, beliefs, and all that makes us unique as a people.
Right here on Joy 99.7 FM. You'll also get to tell us stories about your region, town, or village and why we should make it a destination. Celebrating our uniqueness as a people.
Ghana Month on Joy FM.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy. Joyously Ghanaian.
Ghana, we now have freedom.
Joy 99.7 FM.